Are you looking for an amazing wedding album? Today we're doing an in-depth wedding album review of the Sal Cincotta line from H&H Color Lab. Let's go. Before we get into the video, if you are new to our channel, welcome. Here we talk about all things wedding and wedding photography related. To make sure that you don't miss out on any of our new content, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell for when a new video drops. All right guys, so this is gonna be a longer video than normal because this is a big album line. There's a lot to it, but I wanna be able to share it all with you because it is that amazing. So make sure that you stick around to the very, very end. All right guys, we are gonna dive right into the materials for this album line because there are so many. It is literally like designing a room in your house. There are that many options. So I'm gonna start with the one I already have my hands on because it feels like butter. It really is that soft. And there are 5 of these in the Lush. Any bride that we've had come in so far cannot stop touching these because they're that smooth. And that new car smell when you go into a car dealership, that's what these have. They are just so, I hate to say luscious because that's the name of this, but they are. They're just fantastic. Then we have the next set, which is the Rustic. There are 3 of these, and we actually picked this one for our own family album. I love the distressed look on these, and it's just got that classic saddle-worn leather look. They're still just as soft, but they don't feel as velvety. They're much more smooth than the Lush line. Then there are the premiums. There are 9 of these colors. So you've got the range of the neutrals as well as the greens and the red. And these are very, very high quality leather. You've got more of a pebble leather feel to them. In here, more of a texture versus the Lush and the Rustic were much more of a flat feel to them. And then lastly, these 2 bad boys are our specialty leather. These are Italian leather. And I fell in love with this beautiful yellow rustic brass. I just think that there's nothing like it on the market. It is so unique, it's such a standout piece, and our brides feel the same way so far, having seen that. All right, then there are the synthetics and the linen options, and I'm gonna get into these. So these are our linen options that come with this album line. 9 options for these. Again, you've got that typical neutral colors as well as beautiful blues and some options for red and even a green. These are great for engagement albums. These are fantastic for family albums, as well as maybe a smaller type of wedding album. And the linen weave on this is real soft, real smooth, versus other linens tend to be really nubby and not as smooth to the touch. So we love that option. Now, these, let's see here, are our smooth. There are 4 of them in this, and they are really sleek, very modern, and are great for senior albums. They're great for, again, engagement albums that have more of that edgy, modern feel to them. Then the woven is also a nice textural feel. These are fantastic for the outside of the album boxes, which we're gonna get into later, and also for a real unique look and feel to the different types of albums that are available. This is also really cool with some of the other features that you can do with raised ink and debossing and things like that. Lastly, this is something that's not, I haven't seen anywhere else. This is a synthetic material. It feels like rubber, but it has a wood grain effect to it. And there are 5 of these. You've got the neutrals, and then you've got that really cool, rich red tone that just, it stands out as a unique piece versus something that you would see every day of the week. Okay, so all of those swatches fit perfectly into this which is an album box, one of the options that you have for these albums. And you can see kind of all of them displayed nicely. I love the fact that this gives brides such a wide variety of choices for their albums that actually fit the design and style of their wedding day. Rather than being stuck with only 2 choices of black leather or white leather and black end sheets, and that's literally the end of it, you get so many more options and choices to create and craft something out of this album line from H&H that is truly your own and truly unique. All right guys, now we're gonna go ahead and get into the sizes that are available for this album line. Now, the typical standard sizes are definitely available. You have your square sizes, the 8x8, the 10x10, the 12x12, which we don't personally offer, not to say that's a bad thing. It's just, we prefer to design in a more rectangular landscape option. Then with this album line, you also have everything from the 9x6, the 10x8, the 14x11, and then what we like to call the Mama Jama, the 18x12, which is massive. And the nice thing about these rectangular options are you can design them to open in portrait or open in a landscape option so that the book is long, which is a unique look, or that you have it to open that very standard style where it's longer this way. Now, I want to talk with you about this unique size that's available through H&H with the Sal Cincotta line that kind of just really caught our eye. And that is these extremely long Pano style books that open this way, and you have this massive 20x8, you have a 15x6, and then you have a smaller version which is a parent album for this long rectangular size. So, question of the day, guys, which album size do your photography clients prefer most? Let me know in the comments below. All right, guys, now we're gonna get into some customization options that you have to really make your album stand out in a super unique way. The thing that caught our eye almost instantly when we first heard about these albums from H&H were the raised ink as an option for not only the boxes, but the albums. Now, the neat thing about this is that it starts to take on the texture and the feel of whatever material you put it on. So if it's super texturized, then you're gonna get that same feel with that raised ink. So I really love that raised feeling that you have for both the boxes and the albums. We thought that was just very different, but you can also design it in InDesign. You can create with different fonts, whereas that may not be available with other album options elsewhere. So if you want to put a picture, if you have a monogram, if you have a family crest or something like that, that's where this can really stand out for your clients as a customization option. The next thing is the imprinting that can be put into this leather. I love that you can either do a very flowy script or a super modern script for these albums and really customize that as well. As lastly, for the exterior, you have the option of a foil, which is very traditional, something that our clients really do still ask for a lot. All right, so lastly, for customization, most albums come with a end sheet that is black. Standard black paper, not really exciting, not really something that you get excited about. But the interior of these have the option for crushed velvet. It feels really good. It looks super rich and luxurious. And then on the back of it, you have the ability as a photographer to take your logo and have it laser imprinted into the back, which is really cool because it's just a way to let people know that that's something that you created, it's your artwork. Just like any well-known artist signs their artwork, it's an option for you to have as well on the back. All right guys, so next we're gonna talk about the quality and the construction of these albums. These albums are handcrafted in the United States, which is a huge plus for me as a small business owner. In addition to that, whenever we look at quality albums, I'm looking at if they shift a bunch in the spine, which they don't. I literally have to rock it back and forth and nothing is happening here in that spine. Then I always look at, when I'm opening up a leather album, I look at how many pleats there are inside of the interior of that album. The more pleats, the more better made it is. If it's literally one pleat folded over, it's not an album I'm gonna want made out of leather. That's telling me that it's cheap and it's not well made. Then the paper is of high quality, it's archival. It also feels really good. And these are things that are going to last for a very, very long time. So lastly, as far as quality and construction on these albums, they passed what we call the bridal show test, which means we took this album line for its debut to a local bridal show. And we had about 300 brides and their family members and loved ones come through, take a look at these, open them, touch them, feel them, and they stood up to that amount of handling in a very short period of time, which for me is a huge plus because most albums can't do that. And they still look just as new as when we got them out of the box. Now I want to talk about album boxes. Traditionally, for an album box, you really don't keep it because it's cardboard. It's not pretty. Nobody wants to display it. It's not an art piece. It's there to serve a purpose of getting the album to your front door, and that's the end of it. There are two box types. What I have in front of me right now are the Brooklyn style of boxes. That means that there is a magnetic closure on the side of these boxes, which I just love the fact that it is secure and it's well made for that part. The interior of it has the ability to pick from multiple wood, real wood. Let me emphasize that. This is not fake plastic or anything else. This is real handmade, hand-cut wood that is stained to different colors. There's white, there's black, there's gray, and then you've got this beautiful walnut color as well. These boxes are so customizable. We literally feel like we're playing with a deck of cards with the swatches when we're figuring out what looks good with what, because there's so many possibilities. On the interior of them, you have a beautiful piece of ribbon to make it easier to get your album out of the box. You have on the interior of the box the ability to put this beautiful crushed velvet in here to match the end sheets of your album. And then you can pick from multiple synthetic options for the exterior, making it truly a piece of artwork that you can display on a coffee table in your home that your guests are going to really want to look at and feel and touch. And that can come in a size for a parent album as well. Again, giving you a completely different look, customizing it to what the wedding looked like on the wedding day. So the second box type for this album line is the Manhattan box. And some people have called it the Oreo box because, well, it can kind of look like that sometimes. So the interior has a lot more options than the Brooklyn box. You have the ability to still put that crushed velvet in here, making it a really statement piece. Or you also have the ability to put leather or other synthetic options on the interior to really customize what you want it to look like. So here you can see that beautiful tooled leather, that specialty leather that we talked about earlier, in the interior of the box lid, which coincides with the look of the album itself. And the exterior of the boxes, you still have that option of the wood here. The exterior here can be either a synthetic, or you have the option of the linen, and all of the other synthetics that we mentioned earlier, giving you that ability to really create, again, that custom showpiece, just like with the Brooklyn box, in a slightly different look and style. If you would like to add these albums to your studio as well, then make sure you head to the show notes below to head to H&H's website to get 40% off your first order while this special is still available. If you would like to see more product review videos like this, then make sure you head right over here. And of course, to make sure you don't miss out on any of our new content, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you get alerted when a brand new video comes out. Thank you so much for watching.